Board of Education meeting. Statement is hereby made that adequate notice of this meeting was given by posting written notice prominently on the bulletin board in the office of the Board of Education, the district's website, and sent to the 4 district schools. The mailing and/or hand delivery of said notice to the designated newspapers, to the PLG, PSG, PSA, PTSO, SAB presidents, and student representatives to the board, and filing with the clerk of Holmdel Township Police Headquarters and Public Library. Meetings of the board are open to the public, and all members of the community should feel free to participate. There will be 2 opportunities for the public to speak. The first is at the beginning of the meeting for agenda items only, and the second is at the end of the meeting for other items. Any individual desiring to speak shall give his or her name, address, and the group, if any, that is represented. The presentation shall be as brief as possible, but no more than 3 minutes per individual. There are certain matters that may be brought before the board that cannot be immediately addressed in public. Such matters may be referred by the president to a board committee and/or the superintendent for consideration and/or resolution. The board vests in its president or other presiding officer authority to terminate the remarks of any individual if she deems it in the best interest of those present to do so. May I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Flynn.
Here.
Mr. Sockel.
Here.
Mr. Reddy.
Here.
Mrs. Briamonte.
Here.
Mrs. Collins.
Here.
Mr. Wall.
Here.
Mr. Foster.
Here.
Mr. Hammer.
Here.
Mrs. Urbanski.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Can you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Tonight, we get to start off our meeting with special certificates for our very special track team. So here we go.
So that was a moment to cue the applause for our very special track and field team. I don't know how many of you have ever been to a winter track and field event, but I attended my very first one about a week and a half ago down in Toms River, and it was such a pleasure to see our girls and our boys compete at such a high level. And track and field is a really interesting event, series of events to take in, sort of like you don't know where to look, and there's lots of things going on that are somewhat individual. There's a couple of group events, but our students are all competing pretty much individually. And what really impressed me about this team was, even though they were competing individually, the spirit of team that they had behind each individual on the team was something I've never witnessed before. And it's no wonder that they are the Central Jersey Group 2 champions. And so, we are certainly honored to recognize them tonight, and as I call their names and have them come up to be recognized by Mr. Scalacci, as well as our President of the Board of Education, Victoria Flynn, and then we'll take a group picture. So, Madeline I. Ariana Bartholomew. Sarah Donnelly. Sydney Goldson. Ella Jennings. Caitlin Joyce. Kira Joyce. Maya Lipinski. Emily Lavonas. Justine Prophet. Megan Shire. Haley Sharp. Allie Stewart. Paige Talenko. Ava Vakili. Katie Vasilako. Lexi Woji. Margaret Woji. And Claudia Zhang. And of course, congratulations to their coaches, and we wish them well as this weekend, right, back to Toms River to compete for the overall Group 2 championship for the state. Is that right? Yep. So, how about a really loud Go Hornets? So next, this evening, we have a really special opportunity to hear from the regional winner of the Poetry Out Loud competition, Emily Baylock. So not only did Emily win our local competition here at Holmdel High School, but she went on to compete at the Count Basie Theater back at the beginning of February, I think. And she is one of 2 regional winners, and she's going to compete against 11 other students at a state competition right on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. So we're wishing her a lot of luck in that. And Emily has offered to provide us with one of her poems tonight. So welcome, Emily.
The Hospital Window by James L. Dickey. I have just come down from my father. Higher and higher, he lies above me in a blue light shed by a tinted window. I drop through 6 white floors and then step out onto pavement. Still feeling my father ascend, I start to cross the firm street. my shoulder blades shining with all the glass the huge building can raise. Now, I must turn round and face it, and know his one pain from the others. Each window possesses the sun as though it burned there on a wick. I wave like a man catching fire. All the deep-dyed window panes flash, and behind them, all the white rooms, they turn to the color of heaven. Ceremoniously, gravely, and weakly, dozens of pale hands are waving back from inside their flames. Yet, one pure pain among these is the bright, erased blankness of nothing. I know that my father is there, in the shape of his death, still living. The traffic increases around me like a madness called down on my head. The horns blast at me like shotguns, and drivers lean out, driven crazy. But now, my propped-up father lifts his arm out of stillness at last. The light from the window strikes me, and I turn as blue as a soul, as the moment when I was born. I am not afraid for my father. Look, he is grinning. He is not afraid for my life either, as the wild engines stand at my knees, shredding their gears and roaring. And I hold each car in its place for miles, inciting its horn to blow down the walls of the world, that the dying may float without fear in the bold, blue gaze of my father. Slowly, I move to the sidewalk with my pin-tingling hand half dead at the end of my bloodless arm. I carry it off in amazement. High, still higher, still waving. My recognized face, fully mortal, yet not at all in the pale, drained, otherworldly, stricken, created hue of stained glass. I have just come down from my father. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emily. And of course, the Board of Education would like to award you a certificate for the Holmdel High School Poetry Out Loud competition winner, as well as the New Jersey Region 3 Poetry Out Loud champion. So the third treat of the evening also involves Emily. I believe in 2 weeks, the high school, the Holmdel Theater Guild will be presenting the musical Into the Woods, which is a fantastic show if you've not seen it. Cleverly written, and I know it's going to be performed exceptionally well. Our students are in the midst of hot and heavy rehearsals at this point in time, and when I talked to them about or talked to Dr. DeVivo, their director, about coming to the board meeting to give us a short sort of excerpt from the show. Even though their musical director was not able to make it tonight, the students were like, that shouldn't stop us. We're going to record the accompaniment and show up anyway. And so in a sort of low-tech version of what will be a very high-tech performance in 2 weeks, I'm sure, I want to introduce members of the cast of the show singing Your Fault. Emily Baylock, Bella Moitoso, Anjali Shah, Aman Tolia, and Owen Waller to perform for us.
Hi, my name is Aman Tolia, and basically we're all performing Into the Woods, as you know. It's a bunch of classic, your favorite tales, and it's all combined into one story, and it has a little twist, but I don't want to spoil it too much. So I played Jack in a Beanstalk, and
Yes, I'm Emily. I'm playing Cinderella's evil stepmother, but I'm filling in for Allie Geller, who's playing the witch in this song.
I'm Anjali and I'm playing Cinderella. I'm Bella, I'm playing Little Red Riding Hood.
I'm Owen. I'm playing the baker from No Story You've Ever Heard of Before.
And the song that we're performing is called Your Fault. So it's just a tidbit of the entire music. We open March 12th and we run through the 14th, so make sure you're there because it's not going to be one you want to miss.
Yes, it's your fault. It's because of you there's a giant in our midst, and my wife is dead.
but it isn't my fault. I was thinking those beans in this little wheelchair when I found more beans, and without those beans there would have been no stock to get up to the giants in the first place.
Wait a minute, magic beans for a console. Only that you had to tell myself that you told where they were. This means where they were. So, oh, tell us who persuaded you to steal that gold.
So it's your fault.
No,
Yes, it's your fault.
no,
Yes,
it's not. It's true. Wait a minute, though I also need to get my cow back from you.
So it's your fault.
Yes.
No, it isn't. I kept those beans from the house first, but she was stealing them in the first place.
Father's fault in the first place, so they stopped first in the first place.
So it's his fault. It was his fault.
No.
Yes, it is. It's his.
Like, yes.
Wait a minute, though I tried for being stuck as a kid was on the beanstalk that was here this time. Down here in the first place, second place.
Yes, how?
Well, you had the other bean.
The other bean?
The other
But
meeting.
you had the other bean.
I didn't. Isn't it?
So it's your
No,
fault.
it isn't, because I gave it to my wife.
So it's her
No,
fault.
it isn't.
Then whose is it?
Wait a minute. You're saying so about it, but what happens if it is you?
You mean that old bean that your wife loved you, but they never knew it's when people don't look here. It's your fault. But
It's her fault.
But
And is it mine at all?
What?
well, if you hadn't gone back up again, pretty to leave that head.
But I got it from my mother.
So it's your fault then. Doesn't what about the harp in the third
The harp,
place?
yes.
She didn't dare me to.
I dared to.
You dared me to. She said that I was scared.
Me?
She dared me.
No.
So it's your fault.
Oh, wait a minute. If you hadn't dared to.
You would let the harp alone. You wouldn't be in
Hadn't
trouble
dared
in the
to
first
in
place.
the first place. Hadn't dared to in the first place.
It's your fault. You're responsible. You're the one to blame. It's your fault.
It's probably important to point out that that is not the theme song of the school board.
So thank you, Dr. DeVivo and the cast of Into the Woods, a really difficult show, as you can tell.
Again, thank you for coming tonight, and we'll see you when Into the Woods is up and running, okay? At this point in the meeting, track team, there's snacks there that you should probably eat to fuel up for your next meet. So take the snacks if you like. Report of our student representatives.
Hi everyone. So the Senior Student Council will be hosting a flag football tournament on Wednesday, March 4th, starting at 4 p.m. at the Bob Roby Field. The teams consist of 5 players and the entry fee is $25 per team, and we encourage all Holmdel High School students to get a team together and join the battle. We also want to congratulate the boys basketball team on advancing to the Shore Conference semifinal. We wish them luck versus Manasquan at RWJB Health Arena on campus of Toms River North High School at 6:45 p.m. It will be an exciting match with hopefully a lot of students there to support them now that we may possibly have a fan bus. And we also want to say congratulations to the Holmdel High School National Honor Society for raising over $2,000 for Camp Sunshine. Over 50 members attended and many plunged on February 8th, and we want to thank all who supported through donations and attendance.
Broadway Dinner Theater is tomorrow night at 6:30 in the high school commons. There are sure to be amazing performances from the HHS Choral Department and amazing food from the Culinary Arts Club. Pre-sale tickets for Holmdel Theater Guild's winter production of Into the Woods are now on sale. Performances will be March 12th through 14th at 7 p.m. at Holmdel High School. HHS recently held class meetings where the class presidents were able to talk to their respective classes about upcoming events. And congratulations to the wrestling team on their 4th place finish at District 18 on Saturday.
Thank you so much, yes. It sounded like there was something else going to come. I'm sorry. Yes, it is the superintendent's report, yes. Thank you, guys.
So good evening, everyone, and I invite those standing in the back to join the chairs that are in the front if you're feeling the need to sit down. So this month has been a busy one throughout our schools, at various construction sites, and in our central office. John Lennon once said, quote, "Life is what happens while you're busy making other plans." And with extensive and delicate planning for the 2020-2021 school year in full effect, I'm grateful for the opportunity to pause and reflect on what's been happening in the life of our school district, and to share a few highlights of some of the innovative and student-centered work that has taken place this month. February is becoming known as Kindness Month, and students in our schools have been involved in various activities related to this theme. Village school students were deeply engaged in kindness activities last week. This year's secret mission theme allowed students to participate in a variety of different kindness activities, everything from being a kindness ninja to hand-delivering inspirational kindness cards and messages to staff members and students at both SATS and Indian Hill schools. In addition, village students were also able to visit the Random Acts of Kindness Challenge board outside the main office to select a simple, creative kindness challenge that they could do individually or as a class. Indian Hill also participated in the note writing campaign, while the 4th grade students took kindness on the road and visited with pen pals at a local senior residence. I was so impressed by one teacher's reflection on this and her observation of one of the students and the poise, grace, and heart that students brought to that visit. Meanwhile, Indian Hill students have been engaged in some innovative scientific learning this month. Mrs. De Silva's science classes participated in an interactive science museum entitled How Humans Impact Earth's Spheres. Students worked extremely hard learning and reporting out on how humans contribute both positively and negatively to all of Earth's spheres. Parents, staff, and administration attended and were highly impressed with the students' presentations. Mr. Woods again presented to all 5th grade classes on the topic of electricity, as he does every year, and it's really something to see if you've never seen it before. It's a hands-on demonstration and experiments focused on static electricity and electrical current. Students were actively engaged and highly enthusiastic as their hair sort of like stood on ends. They used props such as hair, balloons, Rice Krispies, and bottles to show how positive and negative charges work. Students also used a tool known as a Van der Graaf machine to explore the topic. 4th grade science teachers have been hosting a volcano week as part of their science curriculum. Throughout the week, students have participated in a multitude of engaging explorations, including building a 3D model of Earth's surface, taking a virtual field trip to a volcano using our Google Expeditions kit, and exploding a volcano safely in a hands-on demonstration activity. Our young scientists have never been more engaged. Over at SATS, our new cycle and elective classes continue to be well received by the students, including such courses as forensics, game design, standing up to intolerance, and argument and debate. Students are in their third of 4 electives for the year, and each marking period, just the rave reviews of the new courses and the new schedule continue to come. Speaking of course selection, current and rising high school students begin to register for classes this month for the next school year. A new exciting opportunity awaits 12th graders, and that opportunity is to participate in an internship experience in the community during one semester of their senior year. This is open to all students who will earn high school credits during these real-world career experiences. An innovative approach that teachers have been exploring and adopting over the last couple of years is known as the 20% Project. Students in Mrs. Farrow's English classes have started engaging in these this year. These projects give students the opportunity to use 20% of their class time in a given week to incorporate real-life research into their class. The students pick a project they'll research, collaborate with partners, and present as a way to accomplish a goal or enhance society and/or their school environment. This is a great way for students to engage with authentic learning and problem solving while enhancing their literacy skills. Finally, HFEE is looking to support student and staff innovation with mini grants. Applications are due this week for these annual grants, and the application information can be found on the HFEE website and has been included in weekly bulletins at all of our schools. I'm also pleased tonight to share some staff and student congratulations from the last month, some great things that have been happening. Over at Village School, congratulations to Mrs. Vinciguerra and the entire Village PE department for a successful coordination of Village's Kids Heart Challenge. Through the combined efforts of the PE staff, Village School students, and parents, the school raised a whopping $30,846. Congratulations are in order for Indian Hill students in the Continental Math League. Both the 5th and 6th grade teams have turned in perfect scores on 2 meets. 2 5th grade students and 1 6th grade student have perfect scores entering the 4th meet and are national leaders. Taking a look at the rankings, 4th grade is in 3rd place in New Jersey and 30th in the United States. 5th grade is in 1st place in New Jersey and 4th in the United States. And 6th grade is in 3rd place in New Jersey and 4th in the United States. Indian Hill also congratulated the most recent Hornets of the Month recently. They are 4th graders Daniela Bavaro and Landon Candelaria, 5th graders Ryan Seelove and Jake Bartzak, and 6th graders Marin Vaklovic and Ethan St. Paul. We are so not used to an audience and applause. This is great. Congratulations to the Holmdel D14 cheer team, of which many SAT students are members, for winning the YCADA Global Cheer Championship earlier this month. And speaking of our student athletes who compete in community sports, I was recently informed that the HYAA wrestling team crowned 2 individual A-Division champions for the first time ever who are our students. They are 3rd grader Loken Plaka and 5th grader Michael Tedisco. These boys will represent Holmdel as part of the Jersey Shore All-Star team, which will compete against the other All-Star teams from around the state. And probably years from now, they'll be where our wrestlers are tonight, competing at state competition as well. Congratulations to the following SATS athletes who were selected to participate in the Women in Sports Day leadership program at Monmouth University earlier this month. Allison Cannon, Elisa Gunawardana, Emma Majewski, and Angelina Petriello. Congratulations to both the SATs. Congratulations to both the SATS boys and girls basketball teams on their outstanding seasons to date. As of now, the girls are 15-1 on the season, and the boys are 16-0. Both teams are league champs and are now entered in the prestigious Run for the Roses postseason tournament. Good luck to both of them. Congratulations to the following students for winning awards at the New Jersey Math League competition. In 7th grade, Musa Dar and Ishani Singh tied for 3rd. Alan Sun took 2nd and Derek Wang took 1st place. In 8th grade, Brandon Yu took 3rd, while Alan Fang and Nidhi Nair tied for 2nd, and Rebecca Wang took 1st place. Congratulations to all of those students. And congratulations again, as Hannah mentioned, to the NHS folks who raised over $2,000 to support Camp Sunshine. Congratulations to the Village School PSA for successful coordination of their 2 bingo night fundraisers. These are really fun nights of number calling, pizza, and prizes. Special thanks goes out to all the students and parent volunteers who helped set up and organize prizes. Congratulations and a big thanks to the Indian Hill PLG for another amazing and successful bingo night at Indian Hill. I was told that it was one of the largest turnouts in years. All students and parents had a fun evening filled with pizza and great prizes. Continued thanks to the SATS PSG for their weekly snack shack offering, especially the pretzels that Mr. Logren described to me as quote unquote yummy. Thank you to the PTSO at the high school for continuing to fundraise in a number of ways throughout the year, including their monthly bake sales. The dollars raised will be put to good use following completion of our 2020 projects. Special thanks to the HFEE for their generous donation, which is on the agenda tonight, supporting the first phase of a major renovation of room 209 at SATS into a state-of-the-art innovation lab that will support engineering, robotics, and production classes for our middle school students. This is part of what we project will be a transformation over the 2021 and 21-22 school years. Mrs. McConnell is already working with staff to develop innovative courses for this new space that will prepare our middle schoolers for then continuing their studies in our new, beautiful, state-of-the-art, which I invite you all to see, engineering and communications wing at the high school. We have many wonderful events coming up in March as we celebrate the arts, as Music in Our Schools Month, Youth Art Month, and also National Theater Month. With lots of concerts and performances coming up, I encourage you to continue to check our district website for up-to-the-date information on all that is going on in our great district. I have an enrollment report to share with you tonight as well. At Village School, 783 students, Indian Hill, 741, WR SATS, 526, and Holmdel High School, 937, for a grand total of 2,987 students. Okay. And my last report tonight is the monthly HIB report. At Holmdel High School, since our last meeting, we have 3 cases reported. 2 were found to be confirmed. 2 were found to be unsubstantiated, and 1 was found to be confirmed. At William R. Satz, we had 1 case investigated, and it was found to be confirmed. At Indian Hill, we had 1 case investigated, and it was found to be confirmed as well. And at Village School, we had 0 cases reported.
All right, thank you. Can I have a show of hands to accept the superintendent's report? Thank you. Thank you for your report. All right. At this point in the meeting, we do committee reports. I know I was going to time this particular. Okay, Eileen, you go first.
Buildings, Ground, and Safety met on February 20th at 5:30. Dr. McGarry mentioned some of the renovations. We'll start with the Holmdel 2020, the interior and exterior renovations at Village and Indian Hill. The as-built survey was received by Edwards Engineering and a punch list was generated. Edwards conducted a follow-up fit and finish walkthrough. Exterior site additions and renovations and interior alterations at SATS and the high school. At SATS, room 204, the installation of a new frame and door adjoining to the cafeteria has been completed. Room 205 now has mirrors, railings, and benches, so that dance room is complete. The link in the new entrance got metal roof decking. That is complete, and the piping for the bathrooms have also been started. The high school engineering wing, the TV studio sound panels have been or will be installed this week. The fabrication area has had equipment installed and the electrical wiring is complete. The PE wing, the exterior masonry blocks are complete with the exception of 1 section to allow for the removal of miscellaneous material. Wiring has been run throughout the space. And finally, the metal roof material has been installed on both the multi-purpose room and the team room, allowing for a watertight roof and more conducive working conditions. Also at the high school on SATS, There are ongoing issues with potholes in curbs and inlets in need of repair. These areas, especially at the west end of the South driveway and the high school main parking lot, will be paved and repaired respectively during this summer as planned. Agenda items 41 and 42, the lawn service and turf management bid. The committee reviewed the results of the bid. On-site landscape management was the low and accepted bidder. We had a presentation from Chartwells regarding our nutritional menu items. Chartwells is continuing to meet with the parent groups 3 times a year. They attended all the back-to-school nights. They attended each of the parent group meetings in the fall. And then a meeting was held with a small group of parents in November. A parent survey was complete in December. The result of the meeting was as follows. Chartwell will note on the menu what products are non-GMO and are antibiotic-free. Chartwells will begin to integrate into its menu lower sodium and sugar content soups, sauces, and condiments. And they were also going to be offering improved snack items. Non-public school transportation update. The transportation coordinator will start communicating with parents in early March, reminding them to submit their B60 forms. Agenda item 40, the disposal of obsolete items. The committee reviewed the list of obsolete items to be disposed of. Regarding vaping detector devices, the administration started their research regarding vape detectors. And finally, other matters pertaining to the committee. Mr. Fallon has set up all practices and games locations for the spring season, and he is currently working on the fall and winter locations. Our next meeting is March 19th at 5:30.
Thank you, Amy. Any questions? Seeing none.
I had one, more for you guys, students. So Chartwells, it was good that we had them at the meeting again. Did you guys get new food and new choices? Was there any conversations about in the cafeteria? Any idea?
There's Pirate Booty in the cafeteria. Pirate's Booty, right?
Oh, I've heard that there's a new brand of potato chips that people really like. That's the most I've heard. I haven't heard anything else besides that.
Okay. Now I was just curious because they had a whole bunch of items that they were putting out there, from high expensive water bottles to all sorts of things. So I was just curious what the feedback was, and obviously I got none from my son, so that's fine.
Anything else?
Some minor item feedback. I did hear that the new sandwich station that's ensconced in the Indian Hill building is very, very popular. Just a bit of feedback for the vendor.
Salads too.
Sorry?
And the salad station, yep. Okay. Jamie, do you want to go?
The board met on Wednesday, February 19th, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. for its Curriculum and Instruction/Special Services Committee of the Whole meeting. As a continuation of its conversation last meeting, the board expressed its concern regarding the district's rankings in U.S. News and World Report and New Jersey monthly publications. One of the critical issues is the number of students by senior year that took and passed at least one AP exam. In this regard, at last month's meeting, the board requested information regarding AP class enrollment, which was presented at the meeting. Data highlights include, 1, 34% of our students do not take any APs during their high school career. 2, 14% take one AP class. 58% take between 2 and 7 AP classes, and less than 7% of our students take more than 7 AP classes during high school. The board requested that the administration provide data on the number of seniors from the class of 2019 that enrolled in every AP subject class, and of those who took and passed the AP exam. The board also requested data on the number of waiver requests for AP classes in the past year and the success of those students in the classroom. The board inquired again into the possibility of open enrollment for AP classes and/or changing prerequisites to allow for increased AP enrollment to improve our rankings and quality of education. Dr. Seeley indicated that she needed to do research in this area on the cost benefits and that she would get back to us with her professional opinion on the impact on the district at the next CNI meeting. The board agreed to obtain a high-performance district data and/or educational consultant, and Dr. McGarry indicated that he would get back to us at the next CNI meeting regarding same. The board discussed its concerns regarding academic integrity in the district, in particular cheating on assessments and appropriate consequences. The board discussed the limitations of our current academic integrity policy, and the administration presented a revised policy that has a broader definition of academic cheating, which allowed for greater consequences. We will have a first reading of the revised policy, I guess, when will that happen?
Today.
Today? It is, tonight. And the next meeting, I don't know what date it is, but it would be the second to the last Wednesday, the 18th of next month.
Thank you, Jamie. Any questions?
I had a quick one. Jamie, next time, for the next meeting, can we get an update on the option 2, or I forget what we're calling it for the gym? I'm just curious. I know we discussed it back in September, but what were the actual results of, like, okay, how many seniors, how many juniors, sophomores, freshmen, and do we have to modify it, or is it good as it stands? I'm just curious to see where it
Okay,
is.
absolutely.
Thanks.
Thanks, Pete. Anything else? Good?
Want me to do my next report?
Oh, that's right. Yes,
Okay.
I just read, yes.
Okay. The following are the notes from the February 11, 2020 meeting of the Ad Hoc Culture Committee. The committee convened and discussed the following. The administration has created a Google form which will be completed by HIB specialists for every HIB claim, and this form will generate a report for the board. The form was reviewed by the committee and suggestions were made for incorporation by the administration. The generated report will be tremendously helpful for board members when deciding whether or not to accept, reject, or modify HIB decisions. We also discussed the statutorily mandated role of the School Safety Committee to identify and address patterns of harassment, intimidation, or bullying in the school, review and strengthen school climate and the policy of the school, and to educate the community, including students, teachers, administrative staff, and parents, to prevent and address harassment and intimidation. Then we discussed the importance of making credibility determinations and assessments regarding the mental state of victims or targets of bullying, and especially when there is lack of witness corroboration. The committee is concerned that students may be unwilling to tell the truth as witnesses for fear of being seen as snitches. We then discussed the importance of getting good in-school support for a child who has been the target of bullying. Then we discussed the issue of bias surrounding HIB claims and old-fashioned beliefs about what bullying actually is that are not evidence-based. And the school attorney, Paul Green, will provide training to board members in making determinations on HIB claims, I believe at the next executive session of the board. And the next committee meeting has not yet been decided, but we will find a date for that.
Thank you, Jeannie. Dr. McGarry, you want to maybe introduce some 2 new faces that we'll see around the school to help us
Sure.
with school culture?
So 2 folks who are in the room who are joining our school district. As you know, John Martin is now Sergeant John Martin and has moved on. And so we're really fortunate to have a really terrific replacement in Officer John McGuire, who's over on the side of the room. And so we welcome you to our school district. And assisting him behind the scenes, there's been another transition. Some of you might know Sergeant Ted Sigismundi, who was the juvenile detective in town, and he has been appointed to a different position in the Holmdel Police Department. And we are really happy to have Sergeant William Bernard with us as well. And we can't say enough about the relationship we have with the Holmdel Police Department and the support you provide us. So thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you for coming tonight. Budget and Finance, who's reporting out on that?
Good evening, everyone. This is the notes from the February 20th meeting for the Budget and Finance. Most of the notes were handled by Ms. Biamonte already. I will just be providing you with some primarily dates regarding the budget. So this week we're anticipating to hear regarding the Governor's 2020 budget address. We are also anticipating that the district will be provided with the 2020-2021 state aid amounts as well. On March 5th, the committee will review the proposed 2020-2021 budget information, and this will be provided to the board following the committee meeting. March 18th, the board will adopt a tentative not-to-exceed budget by resolution. On April 29th, the district will present the 2020-2021 budget at the Committee of the Whole meeting. And May 6th, the district will hold a public hearing on the budget as well. Aside from the dates pertaining to the budget, we also spoke about other matters pertaining to the committee, which is the Holmdel High School sports facilities related plans. All teams' practice and game locations have been identified and assigned. Mr. Fallon is currently working on the fall and winter locations. The date and time of the next committee meeting is March 5th at 7 p.m.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay. Labor negotiations and personnel.
Good evening. The Labor Negotiations and Personnel Committee met and discussed, as you can imagine, labor negotiations and personnel. We updated folks on the status with the HTEA discussions that are ongoing, including but not limited to the fact-finding meeting that was held on February 13th, 2020. We also discussed various personnel items that would be reflected in the agenda. And lastly, various items included but not limited to department reviews, as well as administrative contracts and renewals and things of that nature. Thank you.
Thank you. I think there's one more. Mr. Sacco.
Thank you. Last but not least, the Community Relations Committee met on February 18th, and the computer has just died, so we'll see. It will see if there we go. It's not touch screen, thank you. I'm so used to an iPad, but we're in Google. So these are the notes from our February 18th meeting. The committee met with Lori Perlow, who is our PR consultant, to discuss components of her communications plan for the district, including strategies around school rankings, social media strategy, and general proactive activities. At this moment, I do offer apologies to members of the board. I did promise to distribute that document from her, but unfortunately, I did not include it in this, so I will send it to everyone tomorrow. Ms. Perlow also suggested that the district use Qualtrics to provide survey services. As it turned out, interestingly enough, Mr. Wall and I actually had a meeting with the Qualtrics representative the day before, and were impressed with the presentation that he presented. Qualtrics uses very sophisticated digital tools to help us better understand what is top of mind for various audiences that are important to the district, such as parents and staff. Ms. Perlow recommended the district also conduct focus groups to supplement any survey efforts we make. The superintendent is going to also work with Ms. Perlow to identify promotional milestones associated with the 2020 referendum project. For example, Dr. McGarry has put together a list of potential ribbon cutting ceremonies as new sports facilities go online this spring. The next meeting of the Community Relations Committee will tentatively take place on March 17th at a time to be determined. And that is the notes from the Community Relations Committee.
Thank you, Mike. Any questions?
Just a brief follow-on to Mr. Silva's comments. As well as parents and staff, Qualtrics is a very robust system that may be able to give us a very elegant feedback loop for students. So they can reflect through the years their satisfaction and areas of improvement and such from their classwork and their studies and what they're experiencing. So that could help inform the Board of Education as far as its policies, procedures, and regulations moving forward.
They showed us a very cool mobile app for reporting bullying that it's designed so that someone who has either seen an incident or is a victim of an incident could instantaneously send a note to a school administrator. It was pretty cool.
That's true. So one of the key stakeholders is the student. So to provide that level of transparency, a feedback loop for the Board of Education, we're taking a look into that further.
Yep, definitely. Okay. I got everyone's reports, right? Excellent. At this point in the meeting, we take questions and comments from the public on action items only. Okay. Seeing none, we're going to go on to the action items. Mr. Petroza, ready? Okay. Can I have a motion for items number 1 through 11, 17 to 20, 23 to 38, and 40 to 48?
Move.
Second.
Discussion?
Did you say you're pulling 39? Okay.
Sure. 1 through 11, 17 to 20, 23 to 38, 40 to 48. I pulled all of the monetary donations, 2 retirements, and an item that the board requested that be voted on separately.
39.
It's not there. Ready? Good? We all good? Have a roll call, please.
Ms. Flynn.
I pulled all the motions. I forgot to see which one. Yes, except to item number item number 3. I have to abstain.
Mr. Sockel.
Yes.
Mr. Reddy.
Abstain on number 1 and 2, and yes to everything else.
Mrs. Briamonte.
Yes.
Mrs. Collins.
Yes.
Mr. Wall.
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Abstain on 5 and 6, yes to the rest.
Mr. Hammer.
Yes.
Mrs. Urbanski.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Ms. Collins, can you please read item number 12?
Sure. Approval of monetary donation from the Holmdel ExxonMobil. Resolved that the board accept with gratitude a monetary donation from Holmdel ExxonMobil in the amount of $500 on behalf of the ExxonMobil Educational Alliance. This gift is to be used for the maintenance and support of the math and/or science program at Holmdel High School.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
Move.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, may I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Flynn.
Yes.
Mr. Sockel.
I just wanted to note that these folks have been generous for so many years. I've been on the board for 10 years, and I think we've had this item on every single year. I really thank those businesses who really show their commitment year in and year out to the district. And so I'm very, very pleased to say yes.
Mr. Reddy.
Yes, thank you.
Mrs. Briamonte.
Yes, thank you.
Mrs. Collins.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Wall.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Foster.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Hammer.
Yes, thank you very much.
Mrs. Urbanski.
Yes, thank you.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Mrs. Briamonte, can you read item number 13?
Approval of monetary donation from the Indian Hill Parents Liaison Group. Resolved that the board accept with gratitude a monetary donation from the PLG in the amount of $1,050. This gift is to be used for the transportation for the 4th grade trip at Indian Hill School.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
Move.
Second.
I have a question on that.
Sure.
So is this the trip to the pool? For the 4th grade? I'm just curious, just because my kids aren't in that school anymore, but for years I've always wondered, like, no, okay, somewhere else? Okay, good, then, don't worry about it.
That would have been an expensive
Well, because
ride
every year the
anyway.
kids complain that they have to get on the bus and they lose half, like an hour and a half of the last bus there, the first bus there, when it's just a matter of some prior planning to get some, hey, we're gonna walk your kids 2 blocks to the pool, so I was hoping we weren't spending $1,050 on top of that, so glad to hear it.
Have a roll call, please.
Ms. Flynn.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Sockel.
Yes.
Mr. Reddy.
Yes.
Mrs. Briamonte.
Yes.
Mrs. Collins.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Wall.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Foster.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Hammer.
Yes, thank you.
Mrs. Urbanski.
Yes, thank you.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 14, Mr. Sockel, can you please read that?
Item number 14 is approval of a monetary donation from the Holmdel Foundation of Educational Excellence, HFEE. Resolved, that the board accept with gratitude a monetary donation from the HFEE for the initial installment of the amount of $68,000. This gift is to be used for the new innovation lab at the WRSAT school.
Thank you so much. Can I have a motion?
Move.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, may I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Flynn.
Yes, thank you so much.
Mr. Sockel.
Yes.
Mr. Reddy.
Yes, thank you.
Mrs. Briamonte.
Yes.
Mrs. Collins,
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Wall,
Yes, thank you for your dedication.
Mr. Foster,
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Hammer,
Yes, thank you very much.
Mrs. Urbanski.
Yes, thank you.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 15, Mr. Reddy, can you please read that donation?
Sure. Item number 15, approval of non-monetary donation from village school parents. That the board accept with gratitude a non-monetary donation from parents of Mrs. Fisher's first grade class, value not to exceed $350. This gift consists of items to create a reading nook in this classroom at village school.
Thank you. Have a motion.
Move.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, cover roll call, please.
Ms. Flynn,
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Socko,
Yes.
Mr. Reddy,
Yes.
Mrs. Briamonte,
Yes.
Mrs. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Wall,
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Foster,
Yes, very cool, thank you.
Mr. Hammer,
Yes, thank you.
Mrs. Urbanski.
Yes, thank you.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Item number 16, Mr. Wall, can you please read that for us?
Sure. Item 16 is an approval of non-monetary donation from Village Parent School Association, PSA. Resolved that the board accept with gratitude a non-monetary donation from PSA, value not to exceed $5,500. This gift consists of various indoor and outdoor games for students to be used during recess at Village School.
Thank you so much. Have a motion.
Move.
Discussion? Seeing none, cover roll call, please.
Ms. Flynn,
Yes, thank you so much.
Mr. Socko,
Always great to do a resolution that involves fun. Yes.
Mr. Reddy,
Yes.
Mrs. Briamonte,
Yes.
Mrs. Collins,
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Wall,
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Foster,
Yes, thank you, guys.
Mr. Hammer,
Yes, thank you.
Mrs. Urbanski.
I think this is a wonderful idea. Thank you very much. Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 21, Mr. Foster, would you please read into the record this retirement?
Certainly.
Thanks.
Acceptance of retirement, school nurse, WR SAT School. Whereas Ms. Jane Denton has served the Holmdel Township Public Schools with distinction since September 1st, 1999, and whereas Ms. Denton has faithfully executed her duties with skill and competency, and whereas Ms. Denton has earned the respect of her colleagues and community residents, and whereas Ms. Denton has submitted a letter announcing her retirement from the Holmdel Township School District effective April 1st, 2020. Now therefore be it resolved that the Holmdel Township Board of Education accepts Ms. Denton's retirement with deep gratitude for Ms. Denton's dedication, loyalty, and outstanding services performed, and further extend to Ms. Denton its best wishes for a happy and healthy retirement.
May I have a motion?
Move.
Second.
Discussion? Go ahead.
So, talking with lots of different folks about Jane's work, they always describe it as just such a pleasure. She's always really collaborative with her colleagues. She leads by example. She takes the time to mentor our new school nurses. And most importantly, she really cares about the whole child. And so everyone just feels she'll be missed. So congratulations to Jane.
Thank you. May I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Flynn,
Yes, congratulations.
Mr. Socko,
Yes, thank you for 21 years of service.
Mr. Reddy,
Yes, congratulations.
Mrs. Briamonte,
Yes, congratulations.
Mrs. Collins,
Yes, best wishes to you.
Mr. Wall,
Yes, congratulations to you.
Mr. Foster,
Yes, congratulations.
Mr. Hammer,
Yes, hope you enjoy your retirement.
Mrs. Urbanski.
Yes, congratulations.
Motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you. Mr. Hammer, can you read item number 22, please?
Sure. Acceptance of retirement, math teacher, WR SAT School. Whereas Ms. Susan Ring has served the Holmdel Township Public Schools with distinction since November 30th, 1994, and whereas Ms. Ring has faithfully executed her duties with skill and competency, and whereas Ms. Ring has earned the respect of her colleagues and community residents, and whereas Ms. Ring has submitted a letter announcing her retirement from the Holmdel Township School District effective July 1st, 2020. Now therefore be it resolved that the Holmdel Township Board of Education accepts Ms. Ring's retirement with deep gratitude and for Ms. Ring's dedication, loyalty, and outstanding services performed, and further extends to Ms. Ring her its best wishes for a happy and healthy retirement.
Thank you, Joe. May I have a motion? May I have a motion?
Move.
Second.
Discussion. Dr. McGarry.
So Sue's been a valued member of the Holmdel Math Department for over 20 years, teaching a number of different math courses, both at Holmdel High School, which some don't remember, and also at SAT School. And she's really beloved by not just the math department, but all of the teachers at SATS. She's been a really great colleague. She's maintained a really strong devotion to her students, and we hope that after a long career of working with Holmdel's children, she'll be able to enjoy a wonderful retirement with her family and her grandchildren, and we wish her well.
Yes, thanks. Can I have a roll call, please?
Move.
We already moved.
Ms.
roll
Flynn.
call. Okay, sorry. I'm on autopilot.
Ms. Flynn.
Yes, congratulations.
Mr. Sokol.
I'm going to try to do the math quickly here. Thank you for 26 years of service. Yes.
Mr. Reddy.
Yes.
Mrs. Briamonte.
Yes, congrats.
Mrs. Collins.
Yes, congratulations.
Mr. Wall.
Yes, congratulations.
Mr. Foster.
Moved. No, congratulations.
Mr. Hammer.
Yes, congratulations.
Mrs. Urbanski.
Yes.
Motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you. Item number 39.
You will get old someday too, Brian, just so you know.
Not Brian Foster. It's my understanding that the board would like to vote separately, so on item number 39, so I'm going to ask the board to, we're going to do a roll call, so you're going to vote on items number high school item number 2 and high school item number 3. Does everyone I've been told everyone understands what I'm saying. Excellent. Okay. Can I have a motion on item number 39?
Move.
Discussion? Seeing none, may I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Flynn.
Abstain.
Mr. Sokol.
Reject item 2, reject item 3.
Mr. Reddy.
Reject item 2 and affirm item 3.
Mrs. Briamonte.
Reject item 2 and reject item 3.
Mrs. Collins.
Reject item 2 and reject item 3.
Mr. Wall.
Reject item 2 and affirm item 3.
Mr. Foster.
Reject item 2, reject item 3.
Mr. Hammer.
Reject item 2 and affirm item 3.
Mrs. Urbanski.
Reject item 2 and abstain from item 3.
Motion does not pass.
No,
Well, if motion passes to the... They're both, yeah. Correct.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right, the motion is,
Okay,
but the way we voted on it, we should make clear.
right. So ultimately, motion does not pass.
Right.
Yep,
Thank you.
thanks.
But technically, we voted to reject.
All right. Have a good night, everyone. All right, we're on the part of the meeting where we go to old business. Seeing none, new business? Seeing none, can I have questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, I will make a motion to go into executive session to discuss items that are protected by law. Personnel.
Move.
Oh, yes. Come, then you come to the mic. We don't. There's usually someone who stops me in old or new business, to be fair.
Okay.
They didn't stop me tonight.
Okay, my name is Jill Perez. I live at 6 Sweetbriar Lane. And Mike's my neighbor.
Hi, Mike's neighbor.
So I didn't intend to speak tonight. I really was just very impressed with all the teachers that came out. And so I'm feeling compelled to say something on their behalf. It also happens to be the first day of Lent, so I was just kind of jotting some of my thoughts. And, you know, for 40 days, I had told my family tonight that I was committed to speaking words of gratitude. And so I really just want to start by thanking the board, because I know that you have a very challenging job. Last month you had mentioned that your decisions that you make, you want to be able to sleep at night. And so you really do. You make so many decisions for our students and our schools, and it's not easy. And I also want to thank our teachers, because there's so many of you here tonight, and so it's a really great opportunity to thank you and for all the applause tonight, as you pointed out, right? We don't usually hear this much applause. And so I know that our children are also your children, and I thank you for that. So last month I attended a board meeting, and there was a presentation about finances. So it was great to see that the finances in this district are pretty sound and that there are surpluses, right? And we know right now that there's a lot of modernization going on. So money is being spent, as it should, you know, on great resources that are going to benefit our students. But I also can't help but think we're putting things before people. I'm an educator myself, so I've worked for different universities, I supervise student teachers, and so I get the chance to walk into a lot of schools. And I can instantly feel what the climate is like. It just, you know, are the teachers happy? Are they not happy? Are the kids happy? Are they not happy? And so learning is all based on relationships. And so we really need to figure out a way to build some relationships, help our teachers, help our students, and understand that so many of our teachers have been working for a very long time without any salary increase. I mean, the cost of benefits have gone up. And so they really, you know, a teacher's salary doesn't go up that much. You have to be teaching for many years, right, to hit that step. And so it's wonderful that they've been so dedicated for all these years, but they should have great benefits, because sometimes their health is compromised for the sake of our students. So having good health care is important, having a livable wage is important, and I know many of you would never want to work every year and not see an increase for all of your hard work. So I really want to thank everybody. I'm not here to point fingers. I really am speaking heart of gratitude. I love that we can have these meetings and that you are so open. It's great to see all the teachers. I saw so many faces from the past and present. And I just think that I'm hopeful that something could get resolved. It's Kindness Month. I'm very much an optimist. But, you know, I think it's time. They've been working without a contract. So thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any other questions or comments from the public before Dr. McGarry speaks? Go ahead, Dr. McGarry.
No, just in the spirit of gratitude, I want to thank Jill. Jill's a member of our Student Wellness Task Force and has contributed a great deal over the last year and a half to conversations that we've had. We just had a meeting last night and continues to provide a lot of really interesting insights and some push and pull, and I appreciate your work on that committee.
I think to also add, Jill has been a very strong advocate in regards to the food choices within the school district, and appreciate her active involvement there. Just to clarify, though, the point about surpluses, we don't have any surpluses in the school district. What we have is a maintenance fund that is set aside to deal with emergency maintenance needs. And we also, to help support this particular project, the 2020 referendum, we set up a capital reserve fund, which was really intended to deal with any potential overages or any additional aspects of the project that we were unable to take care of through the original funding and financing to possibly pick up. So those are the only surpluses we have. We don't have general operating budget surpluses.
Thanks, Mike. Anything else? All right, seeing none. Can I have a motion to go into executive session?
Move.
To discuss items that are protected by law, such as personnel and attorney-client privilege.
Move.
Can I have a show of hands? Thank you, everyone, and good night, everyone. Thank you for coming out. We will be coming back into open, but we will not be taking any action. We will just be closing up the meeting. Thank you, everyone. Good night.